In this video, guys, we're back for another first impression. So we're sticking with the Game of Spades series. Now, if you check back in my previous log, the most recent video I did was on Game of Spades Full House, and that one knocked my socks off. So we're gonna see if we can keep the ball rolling. Every Game of Spades fragrance I've got has been a dub thus far. The fragrance of the day that we're gonna be trying out today, fellas, is one I'm actually excited for. This one here is Game of Spades Moon. All right, now Game of Spades Moon is a fragrance that is associated with Bond Number 9's New York Nights, and New York Nights is actually a fragrance I've had my nose on both at the Galleria here in the city, and then also I've had its oils a few times as well. I've gotten my hands on that, and I really enjoy that fragrance. It kind of, to me, reminds me of like the smell like banana bread in the best way, right? New York Nights is one of those floral, slightly sweet, well, really sweet fragrances for me, especially with that caramel note in the base. So they say that Game of Spades is the incarnation of that one, and some people argue that it's better. So we're gonna get through our blind smell reaction. We're gonna get through our first impressions. We're gonna see just how this one fares and if this one is gonna keep the ball rolling as far as getting dubbed. As always, we'll get through all that. First and foremost thing we have to do is get through our unwrapping. Let's get it. There we go, got her unwrapped. Now, they went with the lighter blue, right? Full House comes with the like darker, sort of more sky blue. This one is a little bit more like teal, aquamarine sort of looking blue, but you look at it, ooh, okay. You get it out the box. Love the presentation. Again, they stick with the Joe Milano Game of Spades presentation. This one goes with the matte color, and it's a little bit more of a rubbery case, but nonetheless, I do like the presentation. I definitely love this color, right? Bluish green, but nonetheless, I like the presentation with the black cap. Can't smell anything off the fragrance set. So presentation wise, they keep the same Joe Milano look. I like it. I like the color. I like what they did here. Now we just have to test out and see just how the fragrance goes, right? You're gonna get Gardenia, you're gonna get Carnation, I believe is how you announce it. Then you're gonna get Jasmine, so really floral opening, or really floral top notes. You're gonna get Patchouli, some sandalwood, and some C notes. So it's gonna kind of dry down into more of an aquatic floral mid. And then in the base, you're gonna get caramel. You're gonna get Then in the base, you're gonna get some caramel, you're gonna get some coffee, so kind of more sweeter gourmand base with a little bit of a spiciness from the coffee. So a really kind of wide array of notes, kind of nice blend. So we'll see how this one fares and how the quality goes. But as always, guys, we'll get through our first impressions. First thing we gotta do is get through our blind smell reaction off the air. Nice pressurized atomizer, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Another dub. First off, really nice floral opening. So you do get those 3 floral notes. You're definitely picking up the jasmine, picking up the gardenia, you're picking up the carnation. Really nice, vibrant opening. But you get some caramel in here too. Definitely, you can smell it right away. I can smell it, the comparison to New York Nights. So already from that aspect, so far we're picking up a 1-to-1 comparison. We're picking up a really close one, at least I should say. You definitely can smell the vibe. You can smell the inspiration. It's really there. Nice, well quality. And to me, the sweetness in this one is a little bit more toned down. When I first got it, it was more the florals rather than the actual caramel sweetness. But definitely you pick up the sweetness as it settles in the air. This one is pretty loud, even for a fragrance that doesn't have like an ambroxan note in here. There's no ambroxan, but you can definitely smell the sillage and the opening and the projection as well as you spray it. See, I think it's something about these pressurized atomizers. See, you used to, as a collector, you know, you really don't care too much about those things when you're first starting off. But as I'm noticing, these pressurized atomizers really are letting the fragrance kind of disperse and air out and push out to where you can kind of get to your nose and get into the air faster. It fills up the air quite a bit. I imagine them. Yeah. We won't nerd out too much about it, but nonetheless, really nice opening, really vibrant, really strong presence to it as well. Really gourmand, really sexy to me. This one, to me, is done really beautiful. Almost better quality, I dare say, than the New York Nights, honestly. Like, this one, to me, is really smooth, really laid back. It has a little bit of that Middle Eastern touch to it, so nonetheless, we're 1-for-1 opening test. Definitely checks out. So this is another one of those fragrances. As I'm letting it settle down, we have a tester strip, we have the fragrance, but I'm really enjoying it as it's settling down in the air. This one's gonna be definitely one of the more interesting ones we go out and battle, but nonetheless, got tester strip 1, 2, let's go 3 off the strip. You can see it, like I'm looking here in my desk space. You can see just how much it fills up the air in this little circumference that I have. All right, well, nonetheless, we got it. Gonna really enjoy the qualities. I really enjoy what it's doing there. And see, for New York Nights, again, New York Nights from Bond Number 9. If you look, in fact, I'm gonna look for you guys right now. If you look, New York Nights. So New York Nights on Joma Shop at this particular moment actually is pretty affordable. You can get it for $195, but still, I say that, you know, and yeah, it's still $200 that you would have to be pulling the trigger for, as opposed to, I was able to get this one for just over $60. So again, $60 versus $200, that's a $140 difference in price, which as we settle it down and as we smell it off the strip, the patchouli, picking up the sandalwood, and just a slight bit of aquatic nature. It's not really the most aquatic, so it's really more floral, gourmand, a little bit of spicy. It's not so much C note. See, when I think of an aquatic fragrance, I usually am thinking more of those fresh out the shower types. You know, you're thinking that Mont Blanc. You can smell it. You can smell it just a tad. This one's a little bit more mass, the aquatics, because you can definitely smell a level of freshness to it, right? But you really are picking up on you're picking up on that floral, spicy, sexy nature to this one. Really, really enjoy it. Really hit the DNA pretty accurately, almost 1-to-1, dare I say. The flowers in here too. That flowers in here gives us a nice level of seduction, gives it a nice classiness to it, a nice luxurious feel to it. Again, well done, well put, nice assembly of notes, nice DNA to it, nice quality. Can't be mad at this, guys. Can't be mad at this. Joe Milano is doing really good work. All right, we're 2 for 2. All right, last thing we have to do is we'll go off the skin, and this will be another day. We're only gonna do 2 off the skin. Let this air out. Yeah, love everything that they've done so far. Love the coloring. Love the presentation, smell. Everything is checked out so far. All right, here we go. Yeah, see off the base and off the skin, you really pick it up on that caramel. The coffee isn't super pronounced in this one, right? It's not a coffee-based fragrance where it's smelling like an office. You know, it's not smelling like right after you kind of finish brewing your coffee. It's not getting that at all. Definitely a little bit of a spiciness to it, but if you're more so picking up the caramel, it does give that banana bread feeling, like, you know, we talk about with New York Nights. You do get that. I can see how this one is definitely a mirror and a replica. If you were to take this one and you were to say, hey, this was New York Nights, I would believe you. If I think any person who smells you out in public, if you told them that this was New York Nights, there's no reason for them to think you're lying. There's no synthetic nature to it. I think that's the thing with a lot of dupes, is that a lot of people think, oh, dupes mean that they're lower in quality. If anything, no, it's actually been the opposite. Most of the dupes that I've gotten, most of the Middle Eastern fragrances that I've gotten my hands on, they've almost been better, if not they are better than some of the designer and niche fragrances that they're inspired by. So that begs the question, and that's what we always talk about, is that fragrance doesn't have to cost you an arm or a leg. If you can get your hands, and if you can find the proper dupes, then you know you really are ahead of the game. But as always, guys, that'll do it. Another first impressions done and accounted for. We appreciate all you guys for listening to it. If you found this video helpful, make sure you hit the subscribe and the follow button to get notified anytime I drop any new fragrance content, guys. Let me know what fragrances you guys want me to do. What fragrances have I not talked about on the channel that you guys want to see? We'll get them done for you. And as always, guys, you can always join the memberships tab. Drop something in the chat. We'll catch you guys on the next one. Have a good day. Much love.